Hey guys, good evening. This is David Astob over here. I'm here with Mike Logan. And first of all, I want to welcome all the new guys in the Facebook group. Every day we have about like 15 to 20 guys that join Create Your Amazing Marriage Facebook group. And every Monday we go live over here. And what we're doing now tonight is something we have never done. We're actually interviewing a client in middle of the marriage transformation. Like I haven't waited until we completed the process. There's so much that you guys are going to be able to learn from what Mike Logan has done for himself and his wife and his family. And for the married men over here, I'm talking to the married men in our Facebook group who are married to their soulmates, who are absolutely convinced that they're married to the right woman. What you're going to see now as we go through this interview process with Mike is how quickly you can actually turn around your marriage when you have the right process and the right system in place. So having said that, Mike, I know you just for about a month. Nobody else over here knows you besides the guys who are actually in the Amazing Marriage Fast Track. So why don't you give a little bit of context of who you are, a little bit of background. It's not your first marriage. To whatever degree you feel comfortable talking about it, your first marriage that is, and where you are right now. Just what was going on when you reached out to me 4 weeks. It was actually 4 weeks to the day. It was Monday, 4 weeks ago, exactly. What was going on? Just introduce yourself a little bit. Let's get started with that.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Logan. David and I've been working with David for 4 weeks now to the day, as he said. When I reached out to him, I was living on my own, separated. So we had been separated actually for 6 or 7 months at that point. I think it had been much longer. But I was married before first marriage was 21 years. I had 2 children from that, and I think I was in a pretty bad place. Feeling some very depressed and just in total despair, I should say, when I reached out to join the program.
Gotcha. It's funny. I'm listening to you, and I thought I knew your whole story, but now I remember that it was something like 2 months, and now I'm finding out it was 6-7 months. It seems like maybe you weren't talking to her for 2 months. I remember something about 2 months. What was that?
Yep. We had not been speaking. Like all communication was cut off for 2 months, 7 weeks.
Okay, got it.
For 7 weeks, when you and I had the call together. But I moved out in May of this year.
Got it. Now, for the guys listening to this, I know a lot of guys said you said you're going to be over here joining this call. If you could just say hello, let me know that you can hear us live. The audio is good. Hopefully, the comments should pop up over here in my feed. And if you have some questions for Mike at the end of the call, we'll be able to cover that as well. Can you give some context? A lot of guys over here who hang around this Facebook group for a while. Were you one of the guys that were here for a while? Hello, Tanner. Were you here for a while, or were you like somebody who recently came into the program, to the Facebook group?
Yeah, no, I've been a while. I would almost say I might have been hanging around for a year.
No way.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I did not know that.
It crossed, and I kept saying I was just a casual observer from the outside. I was watching some of the videos that you put on there, and I guess I just hadn't reached the bottom.
Got it. I'm going to pick up on that. I'm going to pick on you in just a second. On that. I didn't know that. That's actually a surprise to me. First, let me say hello. Hello, Tanner, Jeffrey, Stephen, Christopher. Hey, Chris, we've spoken. Hello, Jermaine. Welcome, brothers. This is going to be really, really powerful. Now, I did not know you were watching this group for a year, which means you were separated for 6-7 months, sitting in this group, and you haven't... Okay, I'm not going to judge you. I'm sure you were trying to turn around your marriage. What were you doing?
Yeah, I was trying everything I could to turn it around.
Right.
I was just met with failure, constant failure.
What were you doing? If you give guys a little bit of an idea, like what were you trying? I know the most popular thing is counseling. Did you try counseling? Did you try something else? What were you doing?
I was not doing counseling in the 8 months or so that we had been separated, living apart. But I had tried counseling before, and I was just trying to, reignite the spark by, trying to do things from her cue, where she was saying, "Be nice to me," was one of her things that she really gave me hell about. And so I was just trying to do that.
Trying to be nice, right?
And understanding, and, the selfish, monster in her cat kept coming out in me and just pushing her way farther until that, last day, September 20th. I don't think I'll ever forget that day.
What happened then?
She was supposed to come over and hang out, and then we were going to have dinner. And I was just sitting around stewing, getting angry because she was taking all day, and I
remember something like that. Yes.
Yep, I knew it was going to end out being she was just going to keep getting later and later and later, and I just blew up about it.
Got it. So just
never got out of her car.
Got it. Let's hold that for a second. So you were basically it's important to focus on this, because this is what a lot of well-meaning guys do. And guys, if you relate to this, just say, yes, I relate to this. I've done that. Your strategy for turning around the marriage with all the best intentions was listen to whatever Dawn says. Like, try to be nice. Do what she says to try to please her. But what was okay, let's fast forward a bit. What was the missing piece? Or let me put it this way. What caught your attention? What made you feel that Amazing Marriage Fast Track might have the solution for you? Because you were doing things. It's not like you weren't trying, right? You were doing stuff. It's not like you were just sitting around moping or being selfish or just thinking about yourself. And you were trying to think about her. You definitely felt like you loved her. Like, I'm saying this because I know this. We've spoken. We worked together for about 4 weeks. So what was it in the free training that happened in the Facebook group that made you feel, one second, that might be a missing piece of the puzzle?
Yeah, I think I had caught something about the inner cat, discovery, and you were talking about, stop looking at your relationship with a magnifying glass, and you need to use a mirror. And that was profound to me. Very profound to me.
So that's what
I had just watched one of your videos about it. It doesn't take 2 to fix a marriage. And again, another, just profound, modular video that really got me. And I was like, this really means something here,
So it resonated with you, because I remember when we were talking back in the beginning of November. I think it was 4 weeks ago, so it must have been November 9. Because you were separated, I think I gave you a little bit of hell about joining the program, right? Like I did it, okay? Because it's ideally, we don't want our clients to be separated, just because it very often can take longer to heal the marriage. Just so the guys listening understand that. But because that resonated so strong with you, and I felt like you were aligned with the inner cat, you weren't giving me problems understanding it. You admitted to it. You understood marriage takes one. Quite frankly, a lot of guys don't like it. A lot of guys want to. A lot of guys, by the way, Matt says he's so proud of this guy. Shout out from Matt. Yes. Yeah, thank you, Matt.
I am.
And thank you, Matt, for being on
some lights.
Yeah, your lighting before was better, by the way.
Well, the sun has gone down. Just give me a second here, sir, and
no worries. Just for the guys watching, Mike is in California, so those who are jealous of the sunlight, just so you have a little bit of context of that. Yeah, but because you were so aligned with the inner cat and you understood it and you related to it and to the mirror that we spoke about, it did make it easier to give you like a trial run within Amazing Marriage Fast Track. And what was really amazing for the married men watching this is that usually in marriage transformation, typically within Amazing Marriage Fast Track, to have the results that Mike gets, it takes a bit longer than the amount of time Mike did. I'll tell you what, when I posted like the little promo today about 21 days, it wasn't even true. Like it didn't take 21 days to have the transformation. Within 7 days, we were getting some major shifts. I just felt weird writing 7 days because it's usually too quick. So I didn't want to write 7 days. I felt awkward. I was like, it doesn't take 7 days. It usually takes like longer than that. So I just settled on 21. But really, guys, a little common sense. It's not black and white. When you're saving a marriage, it's not like now it's not saved, now it is saved. There's a constant evolution and, on the spectrum of more and more degrees of closeness and conversation. Give us a little bit of idea of right now, what's going on right now between you and Dawn, and if you can just go back a bit. I know it was a packed 28 days, but if you can start from like the beginning, what was the first like major moment that you felt, oh my gosh, there's a major transformation? And I believe it was within a couple of days.
It was.
And if you can go back to that point and just give a little idea of what's going on right now between you and her.
Yeah, I mean, that very first thing or that very first moment where she was like, hey, something is different here. It was that text in the morning. I know she'd been working her tail off. We had split our finances, and she was paying for, the house here and the costs to live here, and I was in another place, and I just said to her, we were texting about work and such, and I said, I'm sorry you have to work so hard. And not 2 seconds later, the phone rang, and she said to me, I said hello, and she said, who's this guy I'm talking to?
Now hold it over there for a second. This is something that's a big deal. Some guys watching this might just say, oh, let me text her, I'm sorry you have to work so hard, and I'll just get my wife back.
Yeah.
If someone would say that to you right now, someone would say, okay, Mike, what did you text her again? You texted her, I'm sorry you have to work so hard? All right, let me try that. If someone said that to you, what would you say to them? Putting you on the spot right now.
Oh, if someone, just what you just said?
Yeah.
I would say you need to do the homework. You need to do the soul searching and looking into yourself. And I mean, I couldn't just tell you what to text your wife,
Right, because and notice what happened. She said, who am I talking to? Who is this guy? And we talk about this so much in almost all of the marketing videos that I put out, that we talk about the inner cat. We talk about subconscious energy. And guys, I'm going to ask you to pay attention to what Mike just said. Because if you want to know the secret to what is the transformation, what is behind the transformation within his marriage, it's the transformation within himself. It's his ability to unlock that subconscious energy, because everybody feels, I love my wife. Right? When I asked you, right, in the first conversation, I was like, Mike, do you really, really love her? What did you say?
Yeah.
Everybody says I love her, right? But why the hell doesn't she feel the unconditional love if you love her? And the reason is the inner cat blocks it. It's a subconscious energy pattern. And it literally screws around with and interrupts and disrupts and distorts, sabotages every single effort you make, even if you're doing something positive. It's that powerful. And as soon as we unlock that energy, like we do that inner work where we change that energy, suddenly when you text her, hey, it doesn't even matter what you texted her. Because as you know, like there's so many different things that happen, so many different texts. She's like, 1 second, who is this guy? And that is a magic moment. Usually that happens later in the program. That happened to you within a couple of days, where a woman says, who is this guy? And the reason why that's so important is because she starts questioning herself, right? She has an image in her head of who you are that wasn't who you were, that wasn't true. But in order to change that image, we got to change that subconscious energy pattern. It's literally like listening to music with static. It's a distorter. And as soon as you did that, okay, so I had to interrupt you, because if we just let that go, some guys would not understand what the hell just happened. Like, what's the big deal? Just freaking text her, I'm sorry you're having a hard day. And the reason why I talk about it so much is because these are things you can't see, right? You can fake saying appreciation. You can work around the house. You can pay bills. You can say I love you. You can give physical touch. You can try the 5 love languages, take her on a date, buy her flowers. But if you don't understand this inner cat thing, literally everything you're doing is you're trying to drive your car with the GPS, but you have mud in your windshield. So, Mike, I had to go on a tangent there, but back to you. What is going on right now? What happened over the past 3.5 weeks since that point, that first conversation with Dawn? And by the way, your video's off. We can't see you.
I'm trying to correct that. Do a little quick damage control here. I How's that?
Okay, now we see you.
There we go. Where we are right now, yeah, geez, so much has happened in such a short time. But yeah, she's moving. We're moving. More importantly, because you know, there's some repair work that needs to be done with her daughter. You know, and then through advice from a counselor, they're moving back to Arizona. And, you know, Dawn is like, you have to move, you know, with us, you know. So I'm here, you know, back basically living together for this last, you know, 2 weeks, packing up the house and just having a heck of a good time with each other.
And can you give us a little more about that? And I understand that a heck of a good time can mean many things, and some things you might not feel comfortable with, which I can respect. But for the sake of the guys, there are a lot of guys watching this right now, and I can tell you from experience, there are a lot of guys who are just, let me say hello to a few more guys who joined us: Frederick, Sean, Robert, Mike, Maurice, Isaac. A lot of guys, and there are like 25 guys live with us, and I can tell you many guys are quiet. They'll never comment. They'll never say hello. They're like you. Like, they'll be in a Facebook group for like a year, and some of them are suffering, but they're suffering quietly. And I remember I had one of my clients who was like, he was in a hotel room when he was watching one of our lives over here, which gave him hope. What can you say to these guys about your life right now, the conversations you're having with Dawn, the connection, the intuition, the confidence, the things she says about you? Just give them a little bit of an idea what the hell it looks like, or I should be more accurate, what the heaven looks like of what's of what's going on right now in your marriage.
Geez, I just feel, I guess starting from myself is, you know, I've said before, I just feel this intense calm over myself, and I feel confident in myself. And we've been having really good conversations just about anything. You know, I mean, shoot, I told you the one time we were just sitting on the floor drinking wine and laughing. There wasn't any TV on or nothing. We were just talking and you know, having a really good time in that regard. But great conversations with each other, you know, talking about the inner cat, you know, kind of theory with her. When she come out to me with, you know, this realization of her own inner cat and how it had affected our relationship. You know, when she told me about how she hadn't been looking at, you know, situations in her relationship with me in mind so much, and that now she's finding herself doing that, you know. And the bit about honesty, we had an big issue with trust and honesty, and yeah, her coming out to me recently, you know, about how she realizes that she hasn't been 100% honest with me in every situation because she was worried about my anger.
So hold it there for a second, because I want to unpack something you said, which was really important. Guys, notice that he spoke to his wife about the inner cat, but I promise you, if you do that now, it's going to backfire. Like, the reason why he was able to bring it up was because, you know, the philosophy of Amazing Marriage Fast Track and this Facebook group, Create Your Amazing Marriage Facebook group, is marriage takes one. That's why we don't have women in this Facebook group, and that's why I don't work with women. Not because they're not important, but because actually they will follow the lead if their husband is in a spiritual, psychological, and an emotional space. They will, as long as you're soulmates, as long as you have a real connection, and you're not just saving the marriage because you want to save the kids, but you actually love her, she will follow you, all right? She will follow your lead. So what happened in this case, Mike didn't go to Dawn and say, hey, let's talk about the inner cat because you got a problem. He led by demonstration. He unlocked that subconscious energy pattern. He was able to see and where his unconditional love was being blocked. He was able to start undoing the marriage cancer. He started realizing small problems before they become big, identifying it and nipping them in the bud, and started to impress and shock his wife over and over and over and over again until she was like, well, 1 second, who's this guy? And once she trusted his transformation, that's when she starts changing. But that happened
Yeah,
as a result
exactly.
of leadership. It didn't happen as a result of negotiation. It didn't happen because Mike said, hey, Dawn, let's have a serious conversation. I have an inner cat. You have an inner cat. Let's work that. It doesn't work that way. It never does. So
Yeah.
I just want
If I could, that conversation where she told me of her realization of her own inner cat and the trust and all of that, she walked into the living room and sat down and told me that. We weren't even having a discussion.
You beat me to my next question.
Okay, sorry.
No, that was my question was, what happened? What did you get in your marriage that came automatically as a result of implementing our system of the inner cat and aim before you fire, which we're not done yet, by the way. We're probably going to have to interview you again in like a month or two when your marriage is even better. I did this because it was fun to have someone who had such quick results, like within 7-10 days. And I thought there was so much for guys to learn from. But once you started doing the unlocking your inner cat and applying the aim before you fire protocol, what happened automatically in the marriage that things that you've wanted anyway, but you weren't getting it, you didn't want to say it because you knew you're just going to sabotage the process if you start demanding things? One of the things you just said now, because she admitted her parts, but what else happened that you started getting, whether your respect, your opinions respected, your needs met, without having to beg for them, without having to plead for them or negotiate for them? Can you just give us a little bit of an idea?
Yeah, that honesty part was huge for me. Her coming out and admitting to the dishonesty was just the world to me. You know, that was probably the biggest one. And then, you know, there was this friend on Facebook, and this has been a problem for a long time. But, you know, I didn't ask for it, but I did notice that this person was no longer friends with this person, and then she later told me at the dinner table that she had blocked this person and no longer talks to them and doesn't want to talk to them anymore.
Love it.
And that was powerful for me. That's nothing I asked for. And I knew if I pushed, you know, if I said, hey, I see you're friends with this guy and you know how I feel about him, that would have just fueled the flames. Yeah.
Not only would it work, she would actually blame you for being the reason why she's friends with that guy. That's very typical of marriage cancer.
I was told that.
No, she told you that, right? It's all the time. Like, you're the reason why I'm looking for attention from other men, which is why I always tell guys, don't chase, don't try to figure out who she's talking to. That's the symptom of the marriage cancer. That's not the actual marriage cancer itself. Wow, this is so cool. So tell me, let's go a little deeper over here. The changes that you've experienced in your personality or in your marriage was a lot deeper than just your marriage. When you change from that inner cat and you start recognizing that and you start making, shifting, you start seeing changes in people around you. And today we actually spoke about it because we had a strategy call, me and you. It just happened to be that was where you're up to 4 weeks in the program. But can you share with the other guys things that you've seen around you, not your wife, because we already spoke about that. But things that confirm to you that your changes are so deep and real that it's impossible for her to say you're manipulating her. It's impossible for her to say you're just desperate. What is the proof you've seen in your life that there's something different going on right now? There's a different Mike.
Yeah, that was my sister-in-law. Like I said, we've always had kind of this, I don't know, cold kind of relationship. Like she never gave much attention, across the room. She would say hi, and not much eye contact from her and whatnot. And when I went there for dinner this last time, she just looked at me dead in the eyes, asked me, how things are going, how are you doing, she came over, gave me a hug to say hello, and it was just such a weird exchange. Like I said, it
never happened.
It has never happened before, right. And she just was so talkative with me, and she just was sharing all kinds of things as we, found ourselves. And this is my sister-in-law. I mean, I was chatting with a bunch of other people too, but she never included herself in the conversation with me, and that was pretty powerful for me to see the way she acted that way.
And to what do you attribute that to? Like, when you look at the work you've done the past 4 weeks, like, what do you feel you have done that has changed your personality in a way that not only your wife is going for it, but like your sister-in-law suddenly comes over to you and gives you a hug.
Yeah, I think it's this calmness that I have, this calmness, this confidence in myself, and being able to. I think the listening part she really picked up on as I just was listening to her and asking her quality questions, and I just have to think it's that. Like I said, I think she really picked up on the body language that I must have been displaying.
Women are genius when it comes to this. It's like it's impossible to fool them. When it comes to emotional intelligence, they're light years ahead of us. I mean, there's a reason why men struggle with this. We all struggle. I used to struggle with this. That's how I know how to help other guys. It's not because I'm a guru that was born with all the skills. I made almost every mistake. Not every mistake, but almost every mistake. And it's just like, that's why I came out on the other end, and I wanted to help other guys save themselves years and years of pain and suffering for themselves and their wives. But my point is, women are genius. They're naturally like this. They get it and they feel it. I think you also told me something with your daughter. That you also had experience with your daughter recently. Can you just share with the guys about it? If you
Sure,
can.
sure. Yeah, she sent me a text message, a long one, pouring on the love and adoration for her, the way she was raised, and how much she attributed, all the positive things in her life, the job she's got, the travel she's done, to my work ethic and her upbringing, that I was a good dad to her, and taught her, how to live a good life, and it was unlike, any other time before. She's 27 now, she's told me she loved me many, many times, but lately in the text messages I get for her, even, also recently, her longtime boyfriend that she lives with had a birthday, and she texted me and she said, "Dad, it's Zach's birthday," and I went, "Oh man, I missed it," or something.
Your audio connection is a bit shaky.
Today, it would really mean that really made me feel good.
I'm sorry, your audio connection went out a bit. What did she say?
She said that me wishing Zach a happy birthday would mean the world to him, because he has been really looking up to me as a father figure. He didn't have a dad that was very much quality, I guess.
Amazing.
He doesn't have a very high opinion of his dad, so.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
and the reason
that meant a lot to me from him.
That's beautiful. And guys, again, the reason why we're talking about his relationship with his daughter and with his sister-in-law, even though it's only a marriage transformation program, is because Amazing Marriage Fast Track, like once you make those changes with your inner cat and you start aiming before you fire, you stop doing all the things that don't work, and you start doing the things that work, which actually in a certain way takes less effort if you think about it, because you're only focusing on the things that really work, as opposed to shooting all over and hoping that one of the things stick. Once you do that, the changes are so deep, they're so real, that everybody around you starts noticing it. And, as you know, the other guys in the program as well, they see with their coworkers, with their boss, with their kids, with their siblings, some of them with their parents. And it's a result of, here's the reason, to sum it up in a nutshell, your transformation must be so deep that it is impossible for your wife to say you're manipulating her. Because if she could say that, it really does sabotage your entire plan. But it's not just about being a good person, right? You could be a lot of guys are good people, or they're working on themselves, but you have to work on yourself in a way that actually is strategic for the marriage. It impacts the marriage without looking desperate for the marriage. It's that careful balance that must be done, which when you implement that correctly, she literally has to be insane to not notice those changes and buy into them. So what is, if you had to sum up your experience in AMFT, and I know you're not even like halfway through it, but so summing it up is a funny question to ask, but if you had to sort of in 30 seconds say what is different in AMFT versus everything you've seen before or tried before, I don't know, YouTube, 5 Love Languages, I don't know, whatever the hell you tried, how would you sum it up?
Gosh, that's a difficult one. It means so much, but Yeah, AMFT is, I mean, the keys to seeing the reality and looking into yourself and fixing what's, I don't know if I want to say broken inside you, but just rewiring, you know, the way you've been going at life for so long. Like, you know, gosh, I realized in that first week of doing the homework and digging into the modules of that, realizing how I've been living my entire life doing things a certain way, and it just seemed like second nature. Like I thought that's who I was, but it really wasn't.
And something like guys who are watching this, are listening to this, they don't fully understand what the hell you're talking about, and I don't expect them to, because it's very hard for someone to truly understand what an experience is until they actually go through it. When you start looking at yourself, like you say, within that first week, some of it was painful. I remember some of it is painful, right? It was like, you know, I don't want to say how painful it is because I don't want to scare people away. But in the beginning, some of it is painful. A lot of it is fun, but some of it really sucks because you look at yourself and you start seeing, oh my gosh, I've been doing all those things wrong. Oh my gosh, when I think those thoughts, my wife actually feels them and I think they're private and my thoughts are not private. Right? That's one of the things the inner cat is, that it lies to you that some of your thoughts and emotions are private. No, it's not. Some of them are, but some of them are not. And you have to start recognizing which ones are private and which ones she's going to feel. And if you don't address the one she's going to feel, you might as well not spend time investing in your marriage, because she's going to feel the inner cat energy, which can come off in 20 different ways. So I can't really tell everybody exactly what it is, because it really depends on what we're talking about. You know what it's like on the Q&As when we talk to the guys in the program. It's very subtle and it's very nuanced. Any questions over here? Or for me, I'll wait another minute. So while we wait for any questions to roll in, Mike, could you share with the guys, like, what are your like plans with Dawn right now? Like, what are you looking forward to with Dawn? What's the next step?
House shopping in Arizona. You know, house shopping in Arizona, working with her to help her daughter, you know, and that's a big hurdle for me ahead, and I look forward to showing her the love that I can give to her, you know, that you know, just help bring our family unit back together. That's looking forward to the move in Arizona and the new adventure and everything.
I'm looking forward to that, but I'm also looking forward to you really showing her daughter that you have everything that she needs. In best that a stepdad can do. You know, a stepdad is not a dad, but a stepdad for a daughter and from a broken previous relationship can do wonders for the emotional stability, the confidence. And you're getting that now within yourself, so you can actually give that to her because you're getting that strength, that clarity. And here's the thing, guys. I'm going to wrap up with this thought, and then we'll call it a night. And I want to hear your thoughts about it too, Mike, because you're experiencing this. When you have your intimate relationship in the right place, the level of joy, of confidence, of energy, of motivation, the clarity that gives you will reach out into every part of your life. You will become a better dad. You will become a better sibling, a better neighbor, a better coworker. You will produce better because there's nothing in the world that will fuel you like your intimate relationship. It is the most powerful relationship in the world, and it will cause you the most pain if you get it wrong, but it will give you the most pleasure if you get it right. The stakes are very high. Mike, can you just give a little thought about that in terms of what you've seen so far?
You mean, yeah, I mean, finding this calmness about myself and you know, where I'm at in the program and the effect that it's had on my relationship is amazing. And you are right. It's not just, you know, here in the house. It's my coworkers that I'm experiencing the same sort of thing with. My kids, as I said, my friends, all, you can feel this kind of like, who is this guy? You know, kind of.
I love it. That's the best part.
Being very, like, you know, they're aware, you know, and it's so neat to see that awareness, you know, but having this feel, I mean, right now, this here at home is more solid than I've ever felt it in 7 years that we've been together. And to leave the house and go to work, I've never felt so great, for it. I feel confident about the situation here at home, about our relationship, and, I see that she feels the same way,
Got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike, for taking the time here and sharing this with other guys and giving them hope. So it's beautiful, and I'm looking forward to obviously watching the process, participating in the transformation, seeing it get better and better. God bless you. All right. All the best. Take care.